Hey y'all, it's Jody May. Thanks for joining me for another week of What's for Dinner. You guys, this week here was super simple, super easy. I did have some issues with my back this week, so I had to take it a little easier for a few days, but I still got some videos out for you guys to be able to check out this week. I am doing a collab with a couple beautiful ladies come Monday, so stick around for that for the football foodies on the chicken lollipops, potato salad, and corn on the cob. That was awesome, and I can't wait until you guys see the rest. But other than that, we did a breakfast for dinner and a chicken pot pie. I hope you guys stick around and enjoy. To start off, we're going to do the breakfast burritos for dinner. I'm telling you guys, it's super simple, super easy, right to the point, very delicious. You guys, I do a lot of meal preps, and that is the reason why you're going to see me use 2 packs of bacon on this. But I ended up having bacon sandwiches later too, so I didn't even get to put them in the freezer. Anyhow, I started off with 2 packs of bacon. I put them in the oven, and you guys, I'm telling you, this baking pan, it's unbeatable. Like, nothing sticks to this thing so far, and I've had it for probably 5 or 6 months already. And I'm telling you, it washes out really good. Just soak it a couple minutes in hot water, and I got it at Walmart for like 10-12 bucks. Anyhow, I put that into the oven, and I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs going. I'm starting off with 10 eggs, and I'm going to put in some salt, pepper, and some seasoning. It's just a mixed seasoning. You guys can put any kind of seasoning you want into it, and probably about a quarter of a cup of whole milk. I mixed it up really good. I put it into my hot skillet, and then I just slowly mixed them until they became really good and scrambled. Now here I did cheat. I used the packet gravy. It can't be beat. My husband loves this, the peppered gravy. Super simple. You just follow the directions, and that's pretty much all I did. And then once the bacon was cooked, I brought it out. I crumbled it up by hand, and I just put it in with the eggs, and then I put a little bit of cheese in there. And if I had it to do over again, which I will be in the future, I will go ahead and reheat this, like keep it really hot to melt the cheese a lot better. Just because after I got them rolled and put together, the cheese didn't completely melt, and we like the gooey cheese. So needless to say, that would be the only thing I would change in this, but the flavor was on point, and they were super delicious. Now, once I got all that stuff mixed up, all I did was put it into the tortilla shells, and I just rolled them up. Like I said, the only thing I would do different is I would heat it thoroughly and make sure that the cheese got really good and melted. Or I would just put them into a baking sheet, cover them with the gravy, and bake them for a few minutes that way. But irregardless, guys, they turned out really good, and all I did here was once they were rolled, I put the hot gravy on top of them, and they were good to go. This here was a chicken pot pie with a little bit of different ingredients than the average person would probably use. So here we go. All I did here was I started off with 6 chicken legs, and then I put in all of my seasonings. I put in some Creole. You guys can use any seasoning that your family prefers, but I used some Creole. I used some mixed seasoning. I used some salt, pepper. I used 2 chicken bouillon cubes, and I used 6 cups of water and about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I went ahead and brought that to a boil and let it simmer until the chicken was completely cooked. And then, of course, I pulled it out, let it cool. And while it was cooling, I went ahead and took about a half a cup of the broth, and that's what I would use to make the roux. Now here I'm just adding in a couple more cups of water just to make sure that I have enough to cook all the ingredients in. So I don't like cooked carrots, so I didn't really put a whole lot of carrots in there, but I did put in some cut up carrots, and then I went ahead and added in 1 bag of frozen peas, 1 bag of frozen corn, 2 cans of green beans, and then I didn't have potatoes on hand. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I actually had on hand some tater tots. First time I've ever used them like that, but I'm telling you, it was awesome. I definitely suggest you try that trick because it turned out a lot better than it normally would with regular potatoes. Surprisingly, what would happen when you're in a pinch and you have to use something different? But here, all I'm doing is just shredding the chicken, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to the side, get it chopped up really good, and then I'll throw it into the pan, and I will let that simmer for another half hour to 45 minutes, just until all the flavors combine while I'm getting the roux ready. Now here, I just added in about 1/4 of a bag. It was a large bag of tater tots. I went ahead and added them to my baking sheet, put them into the oven, and got them going. Now with the roux, I went ahead and added all of the 1/2 cup of broth that I took out, plus a 1/2 cup of water, 2 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons, should I say, of flour, and then I mixed that up really well. And I cooked it down just until it became a paste and got all that nasty floury taste out of it. And then I will pour it into the soup, and I will let that simmer down for another probably 20 minutes. Now once the tater tots were done, I went ahead and smashed them down. They were crispy, so it took a little bit of longer time, but that's what I wanted. So once they were pretty crispy, I went ahead and started cutting them down, getting them, chopped up really good. And then I just added them into the soup. I didn't want them to be in there the whole time cooking because I didn't want them to become mush or mashed potatoes. So I still wanted the texture on them, so I went ahead and added them at the last few minutes, and then I mixed it up really well, and then I went ahead and got it loaded into my pan. Now here I'm just using my largest cake pan that I could find. I went ahead and took half of my ingredients and put them into my pan. Like I said, I am making 2 meals out of this, so half of this filling will be put into the freezer for a future meal. But half of the ingredients, like I said, are into this baking dish, and then I went ahead and only used 1 can of biscuits because I'm going to try to cut back on my bread products. And yes, I know there's flour in the gravy or in the sauce, but it is what it is with that. I can handle that. I just didn't want a lot of biscuits all over the top of it, so I only used 1 can. And then I went ahead and baked this at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. And there you have it. You guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell if you're new so you don't miss any future videos. You guys have a great day.